We're joined by Sean Catron of the men's swimming team. Sean, thanks for joining us.
Of course, happy to be here.
What's your major at Florida Tech, and why did you choose it? Is it something that you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, absolutely. My major is electrical engineering, and my dad is an electrical engineer. I grew up in the Orlando area, and he worked at Lockheed Martin. He's been there for over 30 years, and that was his major. And in high school, I was studying a lot of like physics 2 and calculus, and so the math and science of it really intrigued me, and I kind of wanted to follow my dad's footsteps and get a good career opportunity with kind of a tougher degree in electrical engineering.
So, in regards to that field, what about Florida Tech stood out to you when you were looking at a school?
What stood out for me was the swimming. I was really interested in getting a good degree and also swimming, and so for me, that was kind of Florida Tech. It was the perfect fit.
You told us before we started shooting this video that you're graduating this fall. Are you planning to continue your education after that?
Yes, I'm a part of the fast track program here, so I'm actually going to get my master's in electrical engineering, and I think I'm going to take the focus of wireless communications and systems. And then after that, I should be graduating in spring of 2023 with that. And whether I go on for a PhD or kind of work at Lockheed Martin, where I've interned the past 2 summers, it's kind of yet to be determined. But I'm definitely interested in working with some cutting edge technology, specifically with different pieces of hardware and that sort of stuff.
What are some of the exciting projects that you've been able to work on in classes here?
Yeah, for electrical engineering, we do a lot with both hardware and software. So right now I'm in this virtual instrument class where we're trying to build a communications setup using electro-optics. So basically by sending a light signal and it has message data on it, we can receive it and then transmit that back into its original message. I've also worked with more like software kind of things where it's like a programmer and we have like a Morse beeper so you can send different bits of messages, and then again it's a wireless receiver and it kind of picks that up.
What's an average day of classes like for you here?
Well, an average day is really starting with swim practice. We get up really early and start at 5, 6 in the morning. We swim for about an hour, hour and a half. And then depending on how my schedule is, if I have morning classes, I'll go to those classes and try to eat at either PDH or at home in between. And then, when I don't have class, I'm either studying or trying to rest because then we have afternoon practice. And then at night, I try to get a lot of homework done. And on the weekends, we mainly have meets. And so when I'm not at a meet, I'm usually studying for tests that are coming up or other homeworks that are due.
How do you manage everything with your studies and your sport once you're in season?
It's definitely a challenge. We have to really be proactive with it. It's all about time management, I've found, staying on top of things. You can't study for a test, the day before the test happens. You have to study a week, 2 weeks before it happens. So the material and it isn't necessarily a cram, and you learn it as you go. You don't want to just absorb it and lose it. You want to keep it, for the rest of your career because it's going to be valuable for the rest of your life.
How has being a college athlete prepared you for what you're doing now, and what would you say you take from swimming that applies to your studies?
Definitely in swimming, you go through a lot of challenges. A set in the morning is not going to be easy. We have to do a lot of sprinting, and sometimes we go to failure. And when you go to failure, your body aches and you want to give up and you want to give in, but you have to fight through. You have to keep working through it. You want to keep getting better. And that's kind of how you have to live life, right? You have to go in every day and say, how can I improve this? How can I make it better? How can I learn more and get more out of it?
What advice would you give to an athlete that's coming here that also wants to be involved in electrical engineering?
I would say definitely know your math and physics. It's definitely all about learning the fundamentals and growing as a student and as an athlete if you pursue sports. So, when you're a freshman, learn the calculus, learn the physics, and make sure you retain it, and then the next year apply it in engineering classes, and then apply it further. And if you keep applying it, soon enough you graduate, and then you become an electrical engineer.
How's the team feeling coming out of the Panther invite? What are some of the goals you guys have for the rest of the season going forward?
Yeah, we're definitely really excited. Our coach David told us that we were working really hard this year, and it's the hardest he's ever pushed us. Before our schedule, we had a recovery in the middle of the week, but now we're going more days consistently hard. We're looking to hopefully send, maybe a few relays on the men's side to nationals, as well as, maybe a relay or two and a couple individual events on the women's side as well.
You guys have been a lot of fun to watch over these last couple of weeks, and we've got a lot of confidence in you going forward. Sean, thanks for taking the time and giving us a very intricate look into the world of electrical engineering.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.